Yo, what is up, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing My Topster, which is basically I put every single one of the albums that I think that are a perfect 10 out of 10, zero flaws with the track list whatsoever. Not going for 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, 9.9. No, has to be perfect. Every single track on this album has to be absolutely glorious. So I got 12 of them, and I'm going to be going through each of them from the ground up on why I think they're a 10 out of 10. And y'all can share y'all thoughts with me in the comments below. So, yeah, this is in order. So, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill would be my least favorite 10 out of 10, and then The Glowing Man would be my favorite. And it's going like this. So, alright, so The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I think this is an absolutely beautiful showcase of rap slash R&B. And I don't know, her voice is absolutely gorgeous, and it's made for some of the best songs of the 90s. You're talking about doo-wop, you're talking about I honestly haven't listened to this album in a hot minute. It's been months since I went back to this track list. Shit, bro, let me pull this up, because I honestly forgot a lot of this album. Because this is the only album that I haven't, listened to in literal months. Lost Ones. Oh my gosh, probably the best on this album. Lost Ones, To Zion, arguably the best singing performance. Doo-wop. One of my other personal favorites is, Tell Him. That is one of the most emotional outros to an album I've ever heard, with these gorgeous harmonies on the chorus. And yeah, I just think this album is absolutely beautiful. Lauryn Hill's voice is absolutely amazing, and she raps good as hell. Alright, so that's number 12. At number 11, pretty obscure pick, I have Tarantel From Bone to Satellite. This is probably the most recent album that I've listened to. Not that whenever it released. I listened to this back in January. I discovered them through a post-rock playlist. Ursa Major, Ursa Minor was on there. And this might be one of the best instrumental albums of all time. It's a beautiful post-rock masterpiece, along with, but man, this album has literally everything you need inside of a post-rock album. You have the moments where there's a slow build-up and you're just on your feet just waiting for it to hit that beautiful climax. If you're talking about For Carl Sagan, arguably the best build-up of any post-rock song ever, you have this really somber strumming, this really somber lick that just repeats with nothing else for 4 minutes. And then you finally get a rise of these strings and these arpeggios and these crashes, and it's just wonderful. And then the drums pop in, there's a beautiful groove to it, and then it just builds from there. It just gets louder and louder and louder until it collapses under its own weight. It is so good. You also have some really depressing moments on here. When We Almost Killed Ourselves is one of the most emotional and somber songs I've ever listened to, even though it has no lyrics. You have this rock groove at the beginning with these bass and guitars, but around 6 minutes it just goes into this depressing guitar lick that repeats the entire way, and you have these synths kind of swooning in, and it just creates this beautiful atmosphere, but it sounds so sad. You can picture if someone's almost killing themselves, going through a really just terrible time in their life and in their mind. I think this album is so beautiful. Some of the best build-ups and climaxes I've ever heard. Steed Bonnet. There's only 5 songs on this album, and it's over an hour and 15 minutes. So there's a lot of content here. Ursa Major, Ursa Minor arguably has the best climax ever, around 4 or 5 minutes. or just builds. Oh, it's so good. I could talk about this album for a while, but I'm gonna go on to my number 10 spot, Dream Theater, Images and Words. This was the first Dream Theater album I ever listened to a couple summers back, and I honestly wasn't big on it. Like, it took me a while to come back to it and like truly like bask in its glory of how just wonderfully grand this prog metal album is. The drum sounds on this album sound so big. It is booming. It is in your face. It sounds so clean, especially that snare. And yeah, this was before Jordan Rudess entered the band in 1999. Oh yeah, I have 3 Dream Theater albums here, so I will be getting into those. But honestly, people would put this as their best. I honestly think there's a couple better, but that's just my personal opinion. You have some of the grandest sounding prog metal songs of all time with Metropolis Part 1. That intro with the build up with the kick on the drum, and then whenever that groove comes in with the guitars and like those synths, it sounds like you're in an action movie. It is so powerful. Not to mention the vocal lines on this album are ridiculously good. Learning to Live, where you have this really long instrumental section, and out of nowhere, James LaBrie just has this vocal line where he just keeps going higher, and then he hits this F sharp note, and it just sends goosebumps around your body. This man had an ungodly vocal range in the 90s. And I feel so bad for him because he cannot hit those lines anymore, and people keep clowning on him for it, and it just makes me sad. But yeah, Wait for Sleep, one of the most beautiful Dream Theater interludes I've ever heard. It honestly kind of bleeds into Learning to Live. Under a Glass Moon, that opening riff is just killer. And then Pull Me Under, one of the most classic Dream Theater songs ever. Really set them on the map. And yeah, this album is just a grand Dream Theater masterpiece. If you love prog metal, definitely get into this album. Alright, at number 9, the most recent album as far as when it was released. It was September of 2025 last year. I got Pain to Power by Maruja. Man, I really wish I got my reaction for this album. And I listened to it the beginning of October. And I was not expected for the mental ride I would go on with this record. I mean, I first discovered Maruja on Quedeca's album, Vanish Your Horizon Scraper. That outro, Casper, was one of the most crazy things I've ever heard in my life. So I decided to check out their other work. I checked out some of their singles, and then they released this new album not long after I discovered them. And man, this is a mind fucking not post rock. You actually got some elements of post rock in here with Born to Die. Post punk. I wouldn't say jazz, but I mean you have saxophone in there. Probably like punk rock with elements of jazz and punk and stuff. I don't really know how to describe the genre of this album, but the heaviness on some of these songs, Bloodsport, just kicking in with this unimaginable rage. It is so uplifting and is so gorgeous. And then that chorus, I forgot how it went. It was like something like Crossfire. Large vision, loud wire. Oh, he's just screaming at the top of his lungs. It is so good. You have some beautiful moments on here like Searche. I think that's how you pronounce it. Really weird ass word. Has the most beautiful lyrics on this entire album. It's our differences that make us beautiful. And then it just reaches to that climax at the end of the song. There's no weak moment on this album. Reconcile, the outro on this album, one of the most like traumatizing experiences I've ever had with a song. I don't know if that's like being hyperbolic, but genuinely, like, this song had me uncontrollably sobbing my eyes out for like 10 minutes even after the song was over, dude. This song just, it has this, I don't remember the timestamp, but it was around 5 or 6 minutes where you have this build up of instruments and these vocals that say have no fear, like harmonizing it even heavier and heavier, and it sounded so gorgeous to me. It sounded so surreal to me that I just started sobbing. And there's this part where it got so loud, it eventually got quiet and then restarted again. But you had these hits of every single instrument, which felt like a punch to the face when I was already sobbing my eyes out. It was so, like, mentally traumatizing for me. Like, I've never had this experience with a song in my life. It is so just hard for me to talk about, honestly, because I've never felt so emotionally moved by a song in my life. And dude, this entire album just blew me away by how heavy it was, and by I could definitely hear some Swan's influence with Born to Die. That instrumental break, so transcendental. It is so good. Trenches is arguably the biggest banger on this album. It's really short, really concise. Zaytoon is a just unbelievable atmosphere of an interlude. It is so like it puts you in a trance. It is like if you were high, you would lose your mind if you were listening to this song. But this is genuinely a 10 out of 10. I thought it was from the day I listened to it. I wish I got my reaction for it. But yeah, let's move on to number 8. That is 10,000 Days by Tool. The one of 2 Tool albums I have on here. Man, whenever I first got into Tool, I honestly wasn't expecting much, but genuinely, like, it's the meaning of this album for me. Maynard James Keenan, I mean, if you have any friends that are Tool fans, they're probably already gonna tell you this, especially about Lateralus later on. But Maynard James Keenan, his mom suffered from a brain hemorrhage, which paralyzed like half of her body. And after she was diagnosed, or not, I don't know, diagnosed, or whenever she got it, she lived for another 21 years after, which is equivalent, roughly approximative of 10,000 days. This whole album was dedicated to her. And whenever you put that concept in perspective, this album hits a lot harder. The opening Vicarious is one of the most crushing metal songs ever. Gosh, this around like 3 minutes 40 seconds, you have this polyrhythm. Well, it's not a polyrhythm, but this 5/4 groove with these bass and drums and guitars. And it's all about, like, the meaning of this song is all about like the crazy stuff happening in the world. Seeing violence on TV, on the news, and like nothing's being done about it. And then you have the title track, Wings for Marie, Part 1, and 10,000 Days, Wings Part 2. Probably one of the most this is the most, like, well put together, thoughtful, and just glorious composition they've ever put together. Like, Maynard sings with so much emotion and passion, talking about his mother, and with the most heartbreaking lyrics ever. Like, never told a lie, but no, it was. Damn, I haven't listened to this album in a while either. God damn. At the end of the song, it was like, never took a life, but surely saved one. Like, man, there have been multiple times I've cried to this song. It really is a trip. It really is a emotional piece of music that can be hard to get into for some people if y'all have trauma like that. But I don't know, just the heaviness of this album too. If you're talking about Jambi, You talking about right into that climax. It's so amazing. Um, yeah, that's really all much I have to say on this album. And then Rosetta Stone is one of the most goofiest metal songs I've ever heard, but it still fucks hard. All right, at number 7, I have Scenes from a Memory, Metropolis Part 2, Dream Theater. All right, I listened to this album over the summer, this past summer, and it did not disappoint. This album is seriously, like, the storyline to it makes this album seem like one big song. Like I think almost every song bleeds into one another. You have Through My Words, the intro, into Overture 1928, into Strange Deja Vu, into wait. No, Through My Words is the one after Strange Deja Vu. I forgot what the first ever track to this album is. It was a interlude type thing. And then into Fatal Tragedy, into Through Her Eyes. It, like, every song bleeds into one another perfectly, and it makes for this. If you pay attention to the lyrics, you can really like listen to the, like, how this album gets put together. And honestly, if I'm being real, I don't go back to any one song on this album. Like, if I listen to it, I have to listen to from start to finish. The only song I really go back to by itself is either Finally Free, The Dance of Eternity, only when I want to do a drum cover of it. One Last Time is beautiful. Dude, what's the song called? Spirit Carries On, one of the most powerful songs of all time regarding the meaning of this song and, like, the impact it's had on people. And it was so just heartbreaking, but so sweet at the same time. When they performed, Mike Portnoy lost his sister like hours before his performance, before he went on stage, and James LeBrie dedicated a song to him. The Spirit Carries On for their last song, and it just, God, that was one of the most emotional performances I've ever seen. And then you have John Petrucci playing next to him, like walking over to the drum set just to play next to Portnoy. It was like, you can tell, like, the band members really love each other. Anyways, but the musicianship on this album hasn't changed from Images and Words. You still have these absolutely grand instrumentations, like on Home. You have that kind of Egyptian sounding guitar, and I fucking love it. One of the most straightforward Dream Theater songs ever. You also have Fatal Tragedy, which is a classic rock song. I could also say that about Strange Deja Vu. I could say that about Beyond This Life is one of the most, how do I say it? Like, the most random Dream Theater songs ever, like, but it sounds just amazing. Probably my least favorite on this album, but that's not to say it's still not fucking amazing, and it still has a concept, and it still plays a role in this entire album. But yes, just in conclusion, this is a beautiful storytelling album. Not storytelling album, it's storyline to it. But yeah, definitely get into this album. It's one of my favorites from Dream Theater. Alright, at number 5, I have Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Antennas to Heaven, Godspeed You Black Emperor. This was my first ever album reaction. And yeah, I honestly don't blame you if you don't think I was into it on that recording, but man, is this grown on me. Oh, genuinely some of the most transcendental post-rock, like, music of all time, dude. Sleep is one of the most chaotic songs I've ever heard. The two-part masterpiece is just, I think there's more parts to it. I'm lying. I just don't know the names of it, but dude, the triumphant feeling of Storm, the first track, it feels like you went to a battle and then you can finally see the sunlight while you're alive. Like this, like Storm is the song where you realize like, whoa, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I feel good. Like that is the embodiment of that song. Yeah, those are the main highlights of this album. There's not really much else to talk about since there's only 4 songs on here. Almost an hour and 30 minutes though, so it's a lot of music. Like in Tennis to Heaven, the outro, it honestly was my least favorite, but that shit grew on me so hard. The climax on this album, or the climax on this song, unlike any other, Static has a really slow build up, which was honestly kind of boring for me, but to see how it all like finished out, like, oh, it was absolutely amazing. They had this wonderful build up and it just kept speeding up. If you want an album that you can, not like background music, I'm not going to say like it's not important, but I mean, it is kind of hard to just sit through this like without doing anything else. But if you have like something else, if you're doing something else while listening to this, I think it's amazing. That's not to say like you can't listen to it by itself, because I did, but I mean I was getting tired in that recording. But yeah, beautiful post-rock album, considered a masterpiece and a classic in the post-rock genre, specifically by Anthony Fantano. That was honestly the main reason I wanted to try this album. But anyways, wait, no, this was number 6. This is number 5. Okay, sorry. At number 5, you know it, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. One of the best jazz albums, the best jazz rap album of all time. And like, it's not the issue that people that like new gens have with this album and why people say it's overrated. Not every song is meant for the aux, bro. Like, you can have these rage slop fanatics who love, like, maximum distortion bass and inaudible vocals drowned in autotune. Like that, like, whenever you get so accustomed to that, you think every piece of music is supposed to be like that, and it's not. There can be meaning conveyed with slow and just drawn out performances, like on like Mama. Like, that is not an aux song whatsoever. Neither is Hood Politics is kinda, but the aux songs on this album go insane. Wesley's Theory, King Kunta was my favorite song of all time in 8th grade. I bumped that song probably 100 times in my 8th grade year, probably more than that. That was just an anthem. I would rap it with my friends. Oh, it was such an amazing time. King Kunta is one of the best songs ever. Then you also have All Right, the classic. Who doesn't know All Right? But the meaning of this album, talking about just like black history and police brutality and stuff. This is a political album. It is hard to get into, especially with all the jazz stuff. If you're not already accustomed to like softer music, you have Mortal Man. The harmonies on this album, or the harmonies on this song, go so fucking hard. When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? Love it. This is also one of the albums I haven't listened to that much, but I still consider it a 10 out of 10 because every song just has so much meaning and contributes to this album and Kendrick's discography as a whole. I was going to put Good Kid, Mad City on here, but honestly, if we're being real, Real is not that good. Real is not that good. Neither is Shireen, aka Master Splinter's daughter. I think that's a really weak opening on that album. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe would be a better opener. So, in conclusion, one of the best jazz rap albums of all time. Serious meaning to it. Some of the best Kendrick verses of all time. The Blacker the Berry. Oh, that was one thing I didn't want to forget. One of the most vicious rapping performances I've ever heard on any rapper's album. This is just a magnum opus in Kendrick's discography, talking about how he lives up to these black stereotypes, calls himself a monkey and how he's proud of it. It is so just amazing. And that jazz section at the end, oh, just chills all over my body. whatever, he ends off the song a cappella, when gang banging make me kill it, blacker than me, hypocrite. Chills all throughout my body. That is one of the best hip hop songs of all time. So vicious, so brutal, and then you end with this transcendental jazz section, and it's just so beautiful. I love every single part on this album. Even the interludes go crazy. But yeah, 10 out of 10 album. I don't know why people are saying this is overrated. All right, number 4, gone in the top 4, the top row. Dream Theater, Train of Thought. So, this might be a hot take for the Dream Theater fans out there. You either love or hate this album, because I've seen people put it as their best. I've seen people put it at the bottom of a tier list. This album fucks. It's so heavy, and some people might find that corny. I don't. I really think they did something here with this album, something meaningful. As I am one of the most killer openings to any metal album ever. It is so just mind-fuckingly brilliant, dude. It blends into, it transitions from, what's it called? Losing Time grand finale off of 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. Which is honestly funny, because the first track on 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence transitions from the last song on Scenes from a Memory. It's just so cool and so creative how they all connect their albums. But yeah, Train of Thought, dude. With 7 songs, over an hour of runtime, this makes for a crazy journey. This Dying Soul is the second step in the 12-step suite, talking about Portnoy's alcohol addiction. It is the most like rambunctious and one of the like weirdest and like all over the place songs on this entire album. Yet it all feels cohesive. And Endless Sacrifice is one of my favorite Dream Theater songs, probably top 3. This album has always stuck with me from the second I heard this album. You get a typical intro, verse, chorus, but it's thoughtful. It takes its time. It's patient. It is wonderful. Then you get into this killer instrumental section, and some of the craziest guitar lines. The production on this album is so clean. The guitars sound so not raw. They're clean. They're so clean. You can hear the bass well too, which I'm glad that Jung Mayung is getting more representation in the Dream Theater discography. And the drum, probably my favorite drum kit on any Dream Theater album. You have that really tight clapping snare. It sounds amazing. And the kicks on that album too. And then Stream of Consciousness, probably their best instrumental track. God, the ending of this song is just crazy. You have these guitars harmonizing, the drums getting even more like complex, and like it just builds. I love the this is also kind of weird thing to point out, but I love the key of this album. I think it's in C sharp minor. It's either C sharp minor or a G flat. No, or it's an E. It's either it's either C sharp minor, E major, or G sharp. Yeah, G sharp major. Anyways, Stream of Consciousness, one of the most killer instrumentals they've ever put together. And then In the Name of God, like, just a beautiful representation of most of the Dream Theater epics, and how, like, just complex and how just beautiful they are. The ending of the song with the strings and the background vocals and the piano, this is one of the most beautiful songs they've ever composed. But yeah, y'all need to listen to this album. Train of Thought is no joke. This is a serious record. Oh yeah, I cannot go by without naming Honor Thy Father. I mean, just another classic Dream Theater song, specifically on the drums. There's been So many videos about trying to do this song. Just a killer fucking song. And some people call James LaBrie rapping on this song, as well as This Dying Soul, like corny and kind of sounds like Kid Rock, which I don't disagree, but it's not corny though. Like, it has a meaning to the album as a whole. I think that song is specifically about like a person without God in their life, and they're like committing all this violence and stuff, portrayed by the instrumental section with the background vocals. I don't know who those people are, but I hope you die alone. Goddamn regrets, like just like this person like reminiscing on all of the terrible things they did. Anyways, this album fucks so hard, absolutely amazing. All right, top 3. Number 3, I have Swans, To Be Kind. To Be Kind. Oh, this album doesn't mess around either. 10 songs, 2 hours. I mean, this is one of the most like intense and violent albums I've ever heard in my life. I mean, where do I even start? Like, the first song I obviously want to talk about is Bring the Sun, the 34-minute 2-part masterpiece. Like, at the beginning, you just start off with them pummeling and just beating down the same note over and over. It sounds so clean. It sounds so just so bright and blissful. It sounds like you're ascending to heaven whenever you listen to this. And each hit, you're just headbanging. It's so powerful. And then you get like a calm before the storm type thing, and then whenever you get to the Bring the Sun part around 9 minutes in, it just builds, just screaming, "Sun, bring the sun." And it just gets louder and louder and louder. And whenever you think it's over, it keeps going. This part keeps going for like 6 minutes. And then it gets so powerful, it just collapses under its own weight. It gets so unbelievably large. It's like, this song makes me speechless. And then you have the really patient and meditative Toussaint Louverture, the second half of the song. Oxygen and Screenshot, 2 of the most well-known Swan songs of all time. 8 minutes of just talking about Oxygen. 8 minutes of just wow. Like, how was this song created? Like, genuinely one of the most violent and most pumping songs of all time. Like, this album, every single song, I won't say every single song, because you do have Just a Little Boy and Some Things We Do that are really slow and thoughtful and serve as breaks. Yeah, Screenshot, I think, kicks the album off so well. These like melodic kind of drums. And yeah, I mean, like, what else do I say? This is one of the most like insane sounding albums I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, I was thinking I'm putting that Daughters album here, but there are a couple stinkers on that track list. She Loves Us, 17 minutes, and it fucks every single second. You have this really like ancient jungle type groove at the beginning, and then it just builds to this like traditional rock groove, and it sounds so amazing. And then you have Michael Gira just like spitting so much vitriol on the fucking track. I am your girl. Your name is fuck. Like, it's so nonsensical, but it brings value. And then the last few moments of this song, like, you have like Bring the Sun type shit, where it's just pummeling on one single note, and it's just so uplifting. Kirsten Supine, arguably one of the biggest climaxes on the album. It was really slow. This is a really slow song, and then it just builds from there, starting at like 5 minutes. 5 minutes in, it starts building and gets even more large. To Be Kind like ends the album off with a fucking wall of noise. And I just think it's so fitting because you've already been through so much and you got to go through a little bit more just to end this album. But yeah, that song is all over the place. Really silly. I mean, what else is there to talk about? Fucking oh, Natalie Neal, dude, that song sounds like you're flying at the speed of light, dude. That is an underrated Swans gem. I don't think Fantano talked about Natalie Neal on his Swans review, like, at all. But dude, that is one of the, like, you genuinely feel like you're flying through space at like 200 miles an hour. Like, it's so just invigoratingly fucking powerful. Those drums sound so big, they sound so large, they sound so amazing. But dude, this album cannot be fucked with. This album is straight to the point. And it's patient on some of the songs. This is one of the biggest albums ever. Alright, number 2, Tool, Lateralus. This was my favorite album for a couple years now. But it has been beaten by The Glowing Man, which I will get into after. Lateralus, the quintessential prog metal album. Like, this has everything you want. Like, everything on this, every instrument on this album sounds so unbelievably clean. But not to the point where it's like Periphery or like Sleep Token kind of clean, where it sounds like AI. But the guitars just, if you're wearing headphones, they take up all the space. It is so, just so powerful. The Grudge, one of the most insane metal openings ever, along with As I Am off of a Train of Thought. Dude, like, I don't even know what to say, dude. There are so many heavy moments on this album, and moments that have, like, really changed my way of thinking about music, and have really, like, made me stop and think about, this is music. This is, like, transcending time with how good it is. On Ticks and Leeches, you have this really patient interlude that goes on for about 2 minutes, and then it comes back with this just, oh my god, awe-inspiring production of these banging guitars and these like complex drums, and Maynard screaming at the top of his lungs, "Suck!" It's so just one of the most powerful moments in Tool's this entire discography. The Patient. So many people say this is the most underrated Tool song ever, to the point where it's not underrated anymore. But another killer track with a beautiful meaning to it. Schism, classic. Parabol, Parabola. Parabol and Parabola has the quote that I live by. Celebrate this chance to be alive and breathing. Like, in life, people have been just taking life, like, taking advantage of the fact that they're a conscious, sentient being, and not knowing, like, the sheer impossibility of existence in the first place. It's like, how am I in this body? How am I having my own thoughts? How am I moving? How am I doing all these things and having complete control over it? And this song, like, encapsulates those thoughts perfectly. It is one of my favorite songs of all time, probably top 3 of all time. This is one of the most, like, oh my god, like, what do I even say? Like, this is one of the most powerful meanings of any songs of all time. It's so beautiful. Then you got the Holy Trinity. You got Disposition, Reflection, and Triad. Absolutely killer. I honestly wish they put this song on all together. It'd be their longest song. That would be what, like 20 minutes? 21 minutes, because Reflection is 11, Disposition is 4, and Triad is 6. Yeah, around 21 minutes. But yeah, Triad is one of the most killer instrumentals ever. Like, that is a workout song, purely. Reflection takes its time. It's patient, takes a long time to build up. I think that's a gripe people have with this song, that it's not fast enough with the build up, but the climax is just amazing. There's this part where you feel like everything is falling down, where like towers are being knocked down right in front of you. Everything is collapsing and coming to an end. Like that, there's that one part where the vocals have like this weird effect. It's just so good. This is perfect musicianship. And then you have Lateralus, arguably the greatest song ever composed. Not even just because of the Fibonacci sequence. I'm not gonna be like one of those annoying Tool fans who talks about, the lyrics correspond with the Fibonacci sequence. Like, no, I'm not gonna be like that. Even though that is genius writing, that's not the main point of it. It's like, dude, the sequencing of this song, it's just absolutely like unfathomably good. The cleanness of the guitars on this album, it just bangs, and then you can hear the bass too. And they have all the polyrhythms. The complexity of this song is unlike anything ever produced. And then you have the big climax at the end with these raging guitars. They sound so vicious. They sound so furious. With spiral out, keep going. Like that being repeated is just. And dude, the ending with the crashes on this song. Oh, it's just wonderful. Oh, it's just awe-inspiring. Oh, it's just perfect. This album is perfect. This is the quintessential prog metal album. So good. My favorite album for a while. And then you got number 1, The Glowing Man. The best album of all time. The best album of all time. I will say it again. The best album of all time. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Abbey Road. What's that one Radiohead album? Okay Computer. No. Fucking Songs in the Key of Life. No. It's The Glowing Man. Like, when have you ever like felt so just helpless by listening to music? You probably haven't until you've listened to this album. Genuinely, one of the it's the most, like, unpredictable and insane albums ever produced. Where do I even start? I mean, Cloud of Unknowing. It's so patient at the beginning. It has this amazing rock groove with these with the vocalizing, and then there's that part at 15 minutes, which is one of the most like, holy shit, I'm being crushed by the weight of this music. Like, dude, I am helpless. Oh my god, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so powerful. It is so just unbelievably life-changing what you're listening to. It goes on for 2 minutes and then it just collapses. It's like that repeating breakdown. It's not even a breakdown. It is the climax of the entire song. It is unbelievable. I honestly can't describe it. You just have to listen to it. It's so like, yeah, I can't find the words to describe how this part is. It's so just indescribably amazing. Frankie M, arguably my favorite song on this album. It was The Glowing Man for a while, but re-listening to Frankie M, like, dude, the first 8 minutes, the first 8 or so minutes are just transcendental. You're ascending to heaven. You have these whooshes of atmosphere, vocals, synths, guitars, crashes, literally every single instrument. and they all just keep getting larger with every single whoosh of atmosphere that you're listening to. You have this crescendo, and it goes up a little bit, comes down, then the next one is it's a little bit larger, and then the next one is even bigger, the next one is even more powerful. It is so just, oh my god, it's so blissful. It is so, like, you feel like you're ascending into heaven when you're listening to these amazing whooshes of atmosphere. That's so, dude, like, I want to find the words to describe how some of the parts on this album make me feel, but I just can't. This album is so meditative. It is so just indescribable. You can't fuck with this album. Cloud of Forgetting is one of the more softer songs on this album, as well as The World Looks Red, The World Looks Black, which is arguably one of my favorites, for reasons that people might not think. And then The Glowing Man, the 28-minute, like, 6 parts. No, there's only, I don't know how many parts of this song there are. It's probably like 4. But then they improvised on Bring the Sun. Then you have that just like classic rock masterpiece in the second half. Then it just ends with this wall of noise, and oh my god, it's so just crushing. Like, you cannot, like, you can only, there's no words to describe how this album will make you feel. You just have to listen to it. It can't be expressed through words. You just have to give this album a try. It's very hard to get into, as it is 8 songs in over 2 hours. It's not quite 2 hours, but it's like an hour and 58 minutes or something like that. But dude, this album is just terrifyingly brilliant. It is, like, this album really made me think about, like, how on earth did people make this? How did sentient beings on this very planet make this type of transcendental music? Like, there's music before listening to The Glowing Man, and there's music after listening to The Glowing Man. Like, I can't describe it. It's so just, oh my god. And then after The Glowing Man, you have Finally Peace, which I'm combining those two as one song, because Finally Peace is one of the most hard-hitting outros to an album ever. Not for the reasons you might think, not because it's all big and loud and all that, but because it serves as, like, the light at the end of the tunnel. After listening to that 30-minute just monster of a song, then you're met with these really lush and calm and blissful chord progressions with a really nice sway to it, with these like jingle bells and tambourines and hi-hats. It makes for just a calm after the storm. It's an unreal experience. Like, it's unlike anything I've ever listened to ever. You need to listen to this album. The Glowing Man is unbelievably, indescribably perfect. This is perfect music. Alright, that is My Topster. That is every 10 out of 10 album. I kind of talked about a bit of these albums for too long, but it's for good reason. I mean, I love yapping about my favorite music, so yeah. I was going to post a album reaction, but the thing is, the recording stopped halfway through because my storage was full, and it just really demotivated me, because that was an album that I really loved. It was Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want. And I fucking loved that record, dude. It was one of the most craziest things ever. But I wasn't able to post it. I mean, I can still post it. Like, there are just a few songs that won't be in that video. But I listened to a good 6 songs before it stopped. Anyways, I've been yapping for too long. This video's probably too long, but alright, that's My Topster. Leave me, feel free. I mean, I'll link my Discord or my Instagram in my bio, so y'all can, like, DM me y'all's Topsters and I can review them. Alright, see you guys.